Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Sunday, which means a new video. Today I am going to be reacting to the newest Next Step Extras series that they have produced. It's called Elevating Black Dancers and it's available on BBC iPlayer. So we're going to be watching these 5 videos in the mini series. I'm not sure how long they are each. Oh, 6 minutes. They're all 6 minutes long. Okay, perfect. And yeah, I don't really know what the premise of them is. I didn't really read the description and I've avoided the sneak peeks because I just wanted to react to it just fresh. But there's a video from Monique, Kolton, Ben, Emmerly and Isaiah who play Maya, Marcus, Pete, Kenzie and Henry. So we're going to hear their stories. At first I wasn't really sure whether it was going to be from the perspective of their character or their real life. But because obviously the little episodes are called their real names, it is about them. And going into this, I think it's such a good idea for them to do it because it's a more serious topic. Obviously you've got to address it in the right way and you've got to kind of think, how can we best deliver the message that I guess they're trying to deliver. It's hard to describe it without actually knowing what it is about and what they're going to be talking about, but I think it's very admirable. So we are going to be watching it with less like criticism like, oh, well, why didn't he say that? Why did he say this? And more just like actually listening to them and understanding and having a conversation based upon what they are saying. I just want to watch them basically and obviously share elements of them to you guys that don't get to see it so that the conversation can be had. And something with me, I find it really hard to watch things that kind of talk about racism and race and ethnicity and specifically being black, obviously, because spoiler, I am. I'm mixed race, black, Caribbean and white. I'm a very sensitive person in what I watch. Like, things play in my mind a lot after I've seen them and stuff. So I do my best to kind of not avoid seeing things, but if I can, like just kind of read and know what's going on, then that's enough for me generally because it affects me a lot. So it takes me a while to watch things. Like recently I watched Leanne Pinnock's documentary Race, Pop and Power, I believe that's titled. Leanne's in the Little Mix, talking about her experience that she's found. And I really wanted to watch that for ages, but I put it off for days because I just couldn't, I needed to be in the right headspace to watch it. And it was really good, so I really recommend that. But I think if anything, it's because I know that I'll relate to some of it. And then it makes me more aware of, actually, I am a minority, whereas I kind of like to live in a way that's kind of like, yeah, I'm just Alicia, the world's a happy place, everything's positive, no one looks at me at being a minority, I'm the same as everybody else. And I don't really like to acknowledge the fact that yeah. See, it's really hard for me to talk about because I don't want to say the wrong thing almost, but that's just the way that my brain works. So I am very proud of the people that have participated in this series because I don't know whether I would have been able to. Like, if I was a member of the cast asked to do it, I don't know whether I'd be able to do it because it's just a very sensitive thing for me. So I'm very proud of everybody that took part in this series before I even watch it. Yeah. Also, I want to just mention, obviously I have to cut down the clips. I can't show the full 6 minutes, but I don't want anyone to think that I'm taking away stuff on their story and just like picking those important bits. It's just like picking and choosing what, like, in relevance to what I'm talking about so that it doesn't breach copyright or anything. But if you want to watch the series, then it will be linked down below. Okay, they've each got little descriptions as well. So Monique speaks about... Sorry, Monique. Monique speaks about how dance gave her an outlet when she struggled with ADD. Okay, interesting. Is that attention deficit disorder? I think. I'm not going to presume because it could not be, but I think it's attention deficit disorder.
I had to go the extra mile so that I could fit in.
Memories, all the times that came and went.
Came up with the title Elevating Black Dancers, and then it removed the black dancers and just said Monique. So it's like, she's not just a black dancer, she is Monique. And I'm guessing they're going to do it for everybody. I like that. It was saying something without saying something then.
I dance because I know that it is what I was meant to do. I talked a lot, but I wasn't very good with my words, and I always just felt like it was so much easier to express myself by dancing. Growing up, there was definitely some identity issues because I always felt like I was too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids.
That's relatable. Same here. It's like, I remember, because growing up, see, I don't want to make this about me. Obviously, I'm not like taking away from them, but I'm just relating it back to me. Like my friends all growing up were predominantly white. I have one mixed race friend who I just say black, you know, but she's the same. See, it's emotional. Oh dear. Yeah, and for me anyway, usually you only realize how black you are when it's a bad thing and it's been like highlighted. Like for example, with dance, for me, dance tights, everyone has ballet tights that kind of just blend in with their skin color. Mine don't. They just make my legs look ashy and pale. Things like makeup. Oh, we don't have your shade of foundation to do your makeup. Can you bring your own in? So it's always those things that make you realize, I am black, actually. I'm not just white.
Being the only black student in my dance company, I grew accustomed to not fitting in, whether that be the hairstyles or the makeup or the costumes and the nude colored tights.
Nude colored tights, exactly, Monique, yes. And things like hair, like having to slick down your hair before a ballet exam, and people expecting you to turn up with slicked back hair and it be perfect and no flyaway pieces. Like, it's a lot more difficult when you have coarser hair, and mine isn't even that coarse, and curlier hair. Like, I'd have to do mine like with more time than my white dancer friends, who could just, obviously it's not difficult, easy, but slicking it back and stuff. Whereas I'd have to brush through all my curls and brush them all out so my hair was like this big, and then slick it all back so that there were no curls and no bumps and everything. Yeah, and you couldn't really say that. You just have to do it and just kind of crack on, I suppose. Yeah. Tights is a big one for me though. Like, I've been trying recently to also speak up for the kids that I teach. So for example, if we only have tan tights in stock, it's like, can we order some dark tights in for them? And you feel awkward saying that because it's like, it's not really your place to make an order. But what are those kids gonna wear on stage? And they're gonna have to like dye their tights a darker color. It's not fair. Yeah.
Having to do extra work to my costumes, like staining things with tea bags and...
Staining things with tea bags. Yes, that's tights, literally.
And although I had the image of Misty Copeland in my head, that image was fleeting because although it seemed like I can do this, it started to feel less and less attainable. To this day, actually, I was just thinking about this the other day. I really wish that I didn't let that get to me so much. But I did believe it.
Yeah, ADD is attention deficit disorder. But there wasn't anything in that specifically about ADD. I don't know whether it's just saying that dance was her outlet for that. But it says that she speaks about how it gave her an outlet when she struggled with it. I kind of would have liked to hear about that a little bit more, if anything, just because it's in the description. But I really like how the message that Monique gave. And it was relatable, which kind of makes me sad that it is relatable rather than being like, yes, queen, relatable. Because it shouldn't be relatable. No one should be feeling those things. No one should be going through that. In an ideal world, like, there should be tights in every colour available for dancers. It shouldn't be like, oh, you're not white, you're not going to fit into these tan tights which you have as the norm, so we're going to have to order some for you. It shouldn't be like that. It should just be like, oh yeah, we've got that. It shouldn't be a question of, have you got this? People shouldn't have to ask, have you got the foundation shade for me? Shall I bring my own? Should I dye my tights? Do you have them? Do I have to fix the nude panel? Like, I think I spoke about that in I have no idea. But I was speaking about Kenzie's Dance Mania costume, how they have a nude panel. Like, it fitted the other dancers, or some of the other dancers, perfectly. But for Kenzie, it just looked too light, and I really didn't like it. I really wish that they'd had a darker mesh panel for her. it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. But I really enjoyed that. Yes. Let's listen to Kolton. So Kolton speaks about how dance transports him away from certain stereotypes. Oh, do you know what? First off the bat, if I give my initial thoughts on what this will be, it could be to do with the fact that like black dancers are usually seen as like hip hop dancers, or you're going to be doing a more jazz funk number compared to like lyrical or ballet, you know, because that's just the stereotype. I guess I never really thought about that.
I really enjoy putting a smile on other people's faces when they see others dance. That kind of sensation really takes away all the negative energy that I've ever received.
Do you know what I also want to say? Like, unrelated to the topic of the thing, I think the dance quality that we've seen so far in both Monique and Kolton's videos has been so good. Like, just something I want to say. Like, I think the dancing in both of them has been very good.
Certain studios wouldn't let me join the dances because they would assume that I wasn't trained enough or I didn't have the technique.
I'm glad that Kolton pushed through the stereotypes and didn't just listen to what people thought of him, didn't give up, knew that he wanted to continue and that he enjoyed dance, so he carried on with it. Yes, I like it. Right, Ben's video is next. So Ben Williams speaks about ignoring bullies and embracing yourself as you are. He dreams of becoming a role model for other dancers. Just want to say off the bat, the colours in Ben's video, I love how he's red, tracksuit bottoms, joggers, whatever you want to call them, trousers. Contrast from the almost monochrome background. That's just really satisfying me. So Ben, props to you. Love your house.
I dance because, in the simplest terms, it's what makes me happy. It was really special to have men, but also men that look like me, in the dance space.
You go, Ben. Yes. Ben is so charismatic. I love it. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. Like, Pete wasn't even that big of a character in season 7, but he just oozes charisma. It just makes me happy when I see him.
Still be you. Still be you unapologetically. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what this person or that person thinks. You do what makes you happy.
Ben should be genuinely like a motivational speaker. Do you know how ready and like confident I feel watching this? Elevating Black Dancers number 4, we have Elevating Emmerly. Emmerly discusses hair, makeup being witty and the benefits of working hard. And before this starts, I think I've heard Emmerly say before that she usually turns up with her foundation done because she's always kind of like, maybe they won't have my foundation shade and stuff. I relate to that. Yeah, I'd always have my makeup done ready for exams or dance competitions and things like that. And I'd always know that if we were having a show, I'm not going to be able to share my makeup, share anyone else's makeup if I haven't got it already. So I'm going to have my own ready.
I remember being told hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I think that's something that I went through personally. I dance because there's some things you just can't say with words. There's no language barrier. When it comes to dance, it's one language.
I've always liked that about dance. Like, you could literally, like, I follow an account on Instagram. I watch all of their dance videos and I love it. I can't speak their language. I don't know what they're saying to each other, but I watch the dances and I love it. They always make me want to get up and dance every single time. I love the style that they teach at that dance studio. Like, it's a full-on dance studio. It's not just a dance page. I just follow the dance studio because I love the dances that they upload and stuff. I love our dances, a universal language. Literally, everyone can understand what you're doing, like, and translate it into their own way of speaking. Yeah.
'Cause I'm the president.
Oh, yes, Emmerly.
I realized that I have to fix my makeup. I have a lot of friends that when they get their makeup done and they look at it, sometimes it doesn't match our skin tone. So it's really a thing that it's like you have to make do for yourself sometimes because there's a lack of, I guess I can say, connection with the makeup artist and the dancer. I want to tell you how I feel. I do. I really do sometimes want to get it out, but like why bother? I've gotten to that point many times where it's like, it's cool.
I agree. And you know what? This is something that I've said before. I don't know if I've said it on YouTube, but I've never been to have my hair done, like at a salon. Never. In my life, I've never stepped foot through a hairdresser's. For me, I've been with my brother, who's really small, and he has like much less coarse hair than me. His hair's basically straight with a wave. My mom's hair is straight. I've never been to a hairdresser's and had my hair done. Like, my mom used to do my hair when I was younger, and then I just learned to do my hair by myself. And I know that there are black hair salons, but the fact that I'd have to go to a black hair salon to get my hair done and outsource where to go rather than just say, oh, there's a hair salon down the street, I can just go to there. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it because I don't know if they know how to do my hair. And I think when you learn how to be a hairdresser, I don't know whether you do now, or whether that's in the curriculum, but you should be able to, you should learn how to do all types of hair, whether it goes from, what's the lowest, is it 1A, the lowest hair type, and all the way up to 4C? Is that the highest? I'm not sure on the ratings, but you know the scales of like how curly or coily or coarse your hair is. You should learn every single type of hair so that you can offer it. Because when you walk past the hair salon and all the pictures in the window are just straight hair or artificially curled hair, it's like, I know I can't walk through that door and present my hair to them and be like, yeah, can you do so? I wouldn't even know how to go about it because I've never been in. But yeah, like, feeling different is a big thing. And even when I've had to have my makeup done for certain things, I've had to do it myself because I've just thought, no, they're not going to be able to do it for me. And it's sad. It is sad. It should just be the norm. Because I think if a child came to me, or I knew that I was going to have to do somebody's makeup on a day, I'd make sure I had all shades ready just in case.
If you have something to say with respect, definitely say how you feel. I do correct people. Last week someone was like, you're sassy. I said, I'm actually witty. The only person you're hurting with keeping it in is yourself. I had a ballet exam and I came with my hair in braids. I guess they just had the idea that my hair had to be slicked down and use my hair into the bun. Like minutes before my ballet exam, I had to cut the braids out my hair and literally slick it into a ponytail like everybody else's. I never really thought much of it until now. Like I had to take out my
braids are slicked down and they're smart as well. It's a protective hairstyle. I'm sorry that happened to you, Emmerly. Like, imagine how embarrassing that would be as well, because I'm guessing it was probably in front of other people taking the exam to have to take out your hair. And for them to say it has to be your own hair in the bun.
I realized that there was nothing wrong with having my hair in braids. I just feel like nobody was educated on it enough. I went to a different studio and I realized that all my friends now have their hair in braids and we look all put together and everything, and they made it work for everybody. And that's something when I went there, I was like, wow, like I really love it here.
In relation to hair as well, if I relate it back to myself, there was, I remember I've only recently actually thought about what the issue was, but I went to my very first job interview and I had my hair down. You've seen my hair down before on my channel, just curly down. And in the interview they said, you're going to have to sort that out though. No, you're going to have to put that up. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I laughed it off because I was just like, yeah, I've got to put my hair up for work, obviously. But obviously I'm going to tie my hair. Like, it's for a restaurant job as well, like a waitress. I'm obviously not going to have my hair down. And like, even the way you said that, not, yeah, you'll have to have your hair tied up, smart uniform, just generalize. It was like, yeah, that is an issue, your hair. It was, yeah. It just makes me angry, honestly. And I think it irritates me because it makes me realize that I have gone through issues myself. And even though I have mixed race privilege of the fact that I'm not dark as I'm not as dark as other people, there's still issues just because I am mixed race and just because I do have curly hair. My hair is coarser.
I was talking to 8-year-old Emmerly when they asked me to take out my hair. I just ask questions. Why? Why do I need to take out my hair? I wouldn't be rude about it. I just think...
Yeah, because what would they have said? Why does Emmerly need to take out her hair? Because it's not slicked down? It is. It's smart. Because what? Like...
These are questions that need to be asked. Says who? Who said I have to take out my hair? To match what norm?
Why is nude tights or tan tights the norm? Why is getting your makeup done if you have a lighter complexion, more achievable than if you have a darker complexion? Having straight hair, I know that some black people have straight hair naturally, but having straight hair is the norm. Curly hair is not the norm. You're going to have to conform to this. Why is it not just a universal thing? Like, your hair has to be smart. You have to look presentable. Everyone can achieve that in some way. It just makes me annoyed, I think, because it makes me realise that we do still have inequalities in the world. And I know that there are people that think that just because we don't have slavery as we used to in the past, and you're allowed to sit at the front of the bus now, and you're allowed to drink from the same water fountains, that there's not an issue anymore. And there is, because otherwise we wouldn't need to keep talking about it. I think ask questions is the most prominent thing I've just taken from Emmerly's. Like, literally, if you feel like for some reason you're kind of being discriminated against, or like there's an inequality there, just ask why. So now I have Elevating Black Dancers 5. This is Isaiah Pex speaking about his love for dance and how it's helped him through grief.
I love it.
Yes, Isaiah.
First time I fell in love with dance, or fell in love with performing, I should say, it was a talent show for my first middle school. We put in the song Go Zaya, and he was like, watch, the whole school is gonna chant it. And I was like, I don't believe you. He proved me wrong, because literally halfway through the song, all I hear is Go Zaya, and I thought it was in the music, but it was actually the crowd. My hair has always made me feel like an outcast. First of all, there's nothing dreadful about dreadlocks. I just call them locks because I think that they're beautiful.
I didn't realise that. Dreadlocks. I mean, I don't know where the word originates from, but I like what Isaiah just said. There's nothing dreadful about dreadlocks. He just calls them locks.
We can be portrayed in so many different ways, and oftentimes there's a lot of stereotypes that go into the roles that we play. I hope that moving forward, that the narrative changes and that it's more normalized for us to be at the forefront of series, at the forefront of characters that are less portrayed in our negativity and more so towards our glory and our higher moments, and just us being portrayed better as Black individuals.
And it's also hard when you realise that you haven't seen anyone that looks like you for a long time, and then when you do, you're like, oh, I haven't seen anyone that looks like me in a long time. It sounds like I'm going to go on to a bad point. I'm not. I think it's so important what they've tried to do and what they have achieved with that little series. I think it's great that they've been so honest as well, because I really like seeing, and we've noticed it a lot more in the recent years of TNS, but just kind of getting to know the cast more than we used to, because obviously social media is big now compared to like what it was in 2013 when the series started. So you didn't really see much of the actual cast. You just saw the majority of their characters all the time. But I think it's so nice that we're getting to see a deeper side of them. That's not just, oh, it's just them talking about it away from the next step. But the next step wants to actively talk about it. I really like that. And that they're giving them that opportunity to project it to a large amount of people by doing things like this. I can't say that there's anything specifically I would have liked to hear. Maybe if they did want to tie it into their character, then they could have spoke about maybe how their character is on screen and whether they think that them being Black has any correlation with anything that their character has done or said. It's really made me think, to be honest. I literally don't know what else to say. I just am very, very happy with it. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like and a comment down below. You can definitely go watch the series. It's linked in the description. I strongly advise it, because even if you're not Black, then you should still watch it just to understand people's experiences and maybe just to be more aware of yourself and things. Because even like how Emmerly said, being described as sassy, I never really thought about the connotations of sassy and how it is usually linked to a stereotype. Yeah, I never really thought about that. So just thinking about things a lot more, and also it might make you aware of things that you're doing or maybe you've seen people doing, and then you can stand up for those people and help them out, just be more aware. And subscribe if you liked me, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.